You're not quiet because you have nothing to say. You're quiet because your brain keeps telling you one wrong sentence could cost you your place in the group. Have you ever had a sentence ready in your head and then watched yourself not say it? Not because you forgot, not because you had nothing to add, but because in the half second before you spoke, your brain went, wait, that sounds stupid. What if nobody cares? What if they just look at me? What if someone says, okay, and? What if I sound weird? What if I try to join in and it just makes everything awkward? So you say nothing, and then someone else says something simpler than what you were about to say. Everyone responds normally. The conversation moves on, and now you're left sitting there thinking, great, so I'm not just quiet, I'm also pathetic for being quiet. If that feels familiar, this video is for you. Because a lot of teens think the problem is, I don't know how to talk. But often, the deeper problem is this. You know how to talk. You just don't feel safe enough to risk being seen doing it wrong. And that changes everything. This is not just shyness. And it's not just low confidence. A lot of the time, it's something psychologists would connect to fear of negative evaluation, which is a formal way of saying you're not only scared of saying the wrong thing, you're scared of what the wrong thing would mean. Not just that was awkward, but now they think I'm awkward. Now I'm the weird one. Now I sound desperate. Now I'm the person who talks and nobody really wants it. That is why something small can feel huge. To somebody else, it's just one sentence. To you, it feels like a public ranking of your value. And that is why this hurts so much in friend groups. Because groups are different from one-on-one conversations. In a one-on-one conversation, there is space. You can respond slower. The other person is already facing you. You don't have to enter the conversation. You're already in it. But in a group has rhythm, timing, status, momentum. And if you already worry that you don't fully belong, every moment starts to feel like a test. When do I jump in? Was that my turn? Was that joke too obvious? Am I interrupting? Am I trying too hard? Should I say it now? No, now it's too late. And congratulations, you have now attended a full group conversation entirely inside your own head. That's the part people often don't see. They see the outside version of you. Quiet, hesitant, a little stiff, maybe hard to read. But they don't see the inside version of you. The version that is working way too hard. The version that is scanning every face. The version that is checking every word before it leaves your mouth like it's going through airport security. And ironically, that self-protection is exactly what can make you look more awkward. Because when you are over-monitoring yourself, you stop reacting naturally. You delay. You soften your voice. You restart sentences. You laugh too early, or not at all. You miss the opening. Then the moment is gone. So the group doesn't think, wow, this person is fighting fear right now. They usually just think, oh, they're quiet. Or they don't really say much. Or sometimes, they don't seem that comfortable here. And that can feel brutal. Because inside, you're thinking, I do want to be here. I just don't know how to be here without feeling exposed. That sentence matters. Because many teens don't actually feel socially empty. They feel socially unsafe. There's a difference. Socially empty is, I have nothing to add. Socially unsafe is, I have something to add, but I don't trust what will happen to me if I say it. That is much closer to what many teens are dealing with. And if you're a parent watching this, here's the part that's easy to miss. A teen who goes quiet in groups is not always lacking confidence, attitude, or social skill. Sometimes they're doing something much more exhausting. They're trying to protect themselves from embarrassment before it happens. So when a parent says, just speak up, why are you so quiet? You need to be more confident. It can accidentally land like this. You're failing at something everyone else finds easy. And after enough moments like that, some teens stop hearing advice as support. They hear it as criticism in polite clothing. And that usually creates more pressure, not more ease. A more helpful question is, what did you want to say? Or, what made that feel risky? Because sometimes the quiet is not refusal, it's fear wearing very polite clothes. For teens, socially unsafe usually didn't appear from nowhere. Maybe you've been ignored before. Maybe someone once gave you that look. Maybe you said something genuine and got hit with a sarcastic reply. Maybe you tried to join a group before and felt like your words just fell to the floor. One moment like that can stick. Not because you're weak, but because your brain is doing what brains do. It tries to protect you from repeating social pain. So next time, it steps in earlier. Don't say that. Don't risk that. Stay small. Stay safe. Wait until you're more sure. But the problem is, in real conversations, certainty rarely comes first. If you wait until you feel perfectly safe, perfectly ready, perfectly unjudgeable, that could be sometime around age 73. So what actually helps? Not just be confident. That advice sounds nice. It is also deeply unhelpful. Confidence is not a button. It is usually the result of surviving enough small moments that your brain stops treating every interaction like danger. So let's talk about what can help for real. First, lower the mission. When you enter a group, do not secretly assign yourself this impossible task. Say something clever that proves I belong here. That is too much pressure for one sentence. Try this instead. Add one real thing. That's it. One reaction, one question, one short comment that is connected to what is already happening. Not impressive, connected. Because most good social moments are not performances. They are small signals that say, I'm here with you. Second, stop treating every sentence like a verdict on your worth. This one is huge. If one sentence lands awkwardly, what does that mean? Usually, almost nothing. But when you are already insecure, your brain interprets it like evidence. See, you're bad at this. See, you should have stayed quiet. No. A sentence can be awkward without you being awkward. A moment can be clumsy without becoming your identity. That distinction is one of the most important emotional skills you can build. Third, speak earlier than your fear wants you to. Not recklessly, not constantly, just earlier, because fear always asks for one more second, one more review, one more internal rehearsal. And usually, that extra second is where your courage disappears. So if the comment is simple and relevant, say it before your brain edits it into dust. Fourth, practice in smaller spaces. If groups make you freeze, don't make groups your only training ground. Talk to one person after class. Say one thing to the person next to you. Build repetition where the social risk is lower. Confidence grows better in smaller rooms. Fifth, learn the difference between discomfort and danger. This is the deeper shift. Feeling exposed is not always a sign that something bad is happening. Sometimes it's just the feeling of being visible. And if you've spent a long time protecting yourself, visibility can feel strangely dangerous. But not every uncomfortable moment is harmful. Some of them are just new. And if this is you, I want to say something clearly. There is nothing pathetic about wanting to speak and getting stuck. It doesn't mean you're weak. It doesn't mean you're boring. It doesn't mean you were made for the edges of every group. It usually means one part of you wants connection, and another part is trying too hard to protect you from rejection. That inner conflict can make you look passive, but it is not passivity. It is self-protection. The goal is not to become fearless overnight. The goal is smaller, kinder, more realistic. To notice the fear, name it, and not let it make every decision for you. So next time you feel that familiar moment, the sentence is there, the doubt arrives, the panic starts whispering, don't, you'll regret it. Try this. Say the small thing, not the perfect thing, the small thing, because your voice does not need to arrive fully confident to deserve space. And sometimes Healing starts there, not with becoming the loudest person in the group, just with refusing to let fear keep taking your turn. If this helped shift your perspective, follow StickMind for more videos that make studying and thinking a little smarter.